Good day, EBIC Church family. I am glad to be speaking to you here just 4 days as I record this from when we will be gathering again for services for the first time since March. So this Sunday, July 12th, is the Sunday when we are able to come back together again. And what I wanted to do is just do a little bit of a walkthrough of the building here so that if you do choose to sign up, and we do encourage you to register to come ahead of time so that we know who's coming and when they're coming, and we can make sure we have adequate seating for everyone. Please register, and then for those of you that choose to come Sunday, we'll look forward to gathering. So as you come, you'll pull into the parking lot, and we are only going to have the main entrance here open on Sunday. So you will want to park accordingly. None of the other outside entrances to the building will be unlocked. So make sure that you park somewhere where you can get to the main entrance. Let me encourage you, if you're willing and able, to leave the spaces closest to the building for those who may have difficulty walking, just so it's a little easier for them to park and get in, since there's only this one entrance that's going to be open. But you can park and then make your way in. The doors will be propped open, so you'll be able to come right in. We're trying to eliminate the need to touch entrances and exits as much as possible, so the doors will be open for you. You can come in. You'll want to have your mask on as you come in, or if you come in and you forget your mask, you leave it in the car, you leave it at home, we will have a station here for you. So we'll have some disposable masks. You're welcome to take one, and then you, based on where you sign up to sit, you can head straight there. So for the sanctuary seating, you'll break off and head to the left. For the gym seating, you'll walk around and go straight ahead, and I'll take you into each of those as we go along here. What we will do as we walk into the sanctuary, we're going to kind of split into two groups, and you'll enter through the far doors, either far left or far right, to get into the sanctuary. And we're going to be trying to maintain social distancing the whole time, so we'll be pretty careful about that, and we'll encourage you to watch your spacing too as you come along. So we'll enter in the far doors, and let's just walk in, and I'll show you what there is to see here. Oh, before we do that, offerings. Some of you will wonder about offerings. We do have offering drop boxes that you can use. So right here is one. So if you're coming in this left entrance to the sanctuary, there's an offering drop box there. Right around the corner here, there's one on the right. So if you're entering in the far right, you can stop by the drop box that's on the wall there and drop your offering off. There's also one by the mailboxes if you're going to be going to the gym for the service. So you can find that drop box there. We'll still have the other ways that you can give as well, so you can still give online. There's still going to be the exterior drop box if you'd like to drop off your offering, and you can always mail in your offering as well. So we really appreciate your continued generosity as we continue through this time of pandemic. So as you come into the sanctuary, there will be a hospitality volunteer who will be here to help you find your seat. You can see here that we have some of the pews taped off, so you'll obviously want to avoid those pews and sit in the open ones. They're spaced out so that we can, again, maintain social distancing throughout the service. So as you come, we'll seat from the front to the back. I'm sorry, I know that some of you have your reserved pew where you always sit. We're going to have to ask you to be flexible here and maybe get a new view. I mean, maybe sit somewhere you've never sat before, and you'll see things like you've never seen them before. So we'll just ask you to go where the hospitality volunteer indicates. So we'll fill in from the front to the back. We'll keep plenty of space in each pew. Again, we just really want to encourage you to maintain your distance as best you can while you're in the service. We'll ask you to keep your masks on as you do, and some of you might think, well, how do we sing if we're doing that? And you may just need to sing more quietly. Think of yourself as singing to God rather than singing for the benefit of the people around you, or even just listen and take in the music and reflect on God's faithfulness as we sing on Sunday. But we are encouraging people who are not on stage to stay in their masks. So the people that will be up on the platform will not have masks on while they're up there, and then when they come down from doing what they're doing in the service, they'll put their masks on like everyone else who's seated in the sanctuary. So This is what it'll look like on Sunday. You can maybe see we've taken out all the stuffing out of the pews, so the hymnals and the paper and all of those things, offering envelopes, are all gone from the pews there. And again, just trying to minimize the number of surfaces that are available to be touched. So you'll want to bring your Bible with you, some access to the scriptures on Sunday. You'll want to have some way to take notes if you want to take notes during the sermon. There won't be any, we're not handing out any worship folders, we're not handing out any papers, so you'll want to bring along anything that you need to write, either paper, pens, all of those things you'll want to have with you. We'll go through the service together. After the service, again, hospitality person will come and they'll dismiss you by row, so it's going to feel a little bit like you're at a wedding. And we're actually going to dismiss likely from the back to the front, so if you're sitting toward the back, in this case, the last shall be first. So you'll be sitting toward the back. The hospitality person will let you out a row at a time on either side, and you'll go straight out the back. And our encouragement to you is to head straight out the door outside, and if you want to chat with some people outside, you're able to do that, but we're wanting to keep the building vacant between services so that cleaning can take place for the next service. And so we'll encourage you to head straight out. If you want to check your mailbox, if you think you have anything in there, you may. We, working on staff here and the office staff, are trying to keep the mailboxes empty, so we won't be putting connections or other publications in your mailboxes, at least for the foreseeable future. If someone left you a note or anything like that previously that you want to check, you can kind of wind your way around, grab your mail before you head out. But mailboxes probably will not be used a whole lot over the next number of weeks. So you'll be dismissed, you'll head out, and that'll be your Sunday morning here if you're in the sanctuary. Let's head out that way, and we'll talk a little bit about the gym. Let me just say a word about the bathrooms. All the bathrooms will be open and available to be used on Sunday. Let me encourage you, we're trying to limit the number of people in the bathroom at one time, so you might want to just peek your head in the bathroom, see if there's anybody else in there. If they are, then you can just wait outside and take your turn when it comes. But just another aspect of the distancing that we're trying to follow as we gather again on Sunday. Here's that other offering box that's near the gym for anyone who's headed this way. Right now, we don't have a whole lot of signups for the gym. At this point, they're all still, mostly still in the sanctuary. But if we do have some signups in the gym, you'll come straight back from the main entrance. And we have the chairs spaced out pretty nicely here so that you'll be able to maintain distance. The screen will be down and you'll be viewing the service on the screen and able to participate from there. And as with the sanctuary, we encourage you to keep your masks on the whole time, just to, again, for an added layer of protection for people. Following the service, what will happen is you'll actually go out a different way than you came in. So you'll come out the back here, you'll be dismissed, and then we'll be able to go straight down the hallway and out the side door there into the parking lot. So you won't need to head back to the front. Or back to the main entrance. You'll head out that way. So that's your little walking tour of what our building will be like as you gather on Sunday. Let me just say a few things in closing. First of all, everything that I've just said is subject to change in future weeks. As we get into this, we may fine-tune some things, we may tweak some things, so it's not going to be this way necessarily indefinitely for sure. It may change as the weeks go by, and as we make changes, we'll try to let you know ahead of time so that you know what to expect before you come. But for this Sunday, it should be the way that I've described in our little tour here. Let me just encourage you, if you feel ill or if you're vulnerable to getting ill, we just encourage you to stay home and continue to watch the services from home. We're going to keep live streaming them so that you'll be able to participate that way. And so please, for your own sake and for the health of others, we encourage you to take your time in coming back if you're not totally ready. And let me encourage you in this way too. Don't feel embarrassed if you're not ready to come back. Don't feel like you're going to be judged as someone who's fearful or lacks faith if you take your time in coming back. That's going to be a very personal decision that each one of us has to make as to when is the right time for us to come back. And so if you're not ready, take your time, and we'll be ready for you when you come. So I encourage you to keep that in mind. I know that some of the things that I've described to some will feel like overkill. Why are we doing all this? Why do we have to be so hemmed in, and why do we have to follow all of these rules and all of this distancing and the masks and all of that? And I realize that that's discouraging for some. It's disappointing. It's maybe even upsetting to some of you. Let me tell you, it makes me sad that we have to do it this way too. And yet at the same time, we want to be able to bring people together again. And so if this is what we have to do to feel like we can bring people together again in a safe environment, then I'm willing to do it. And I recognize it's going to be for a period of time here, and then we will get through it, and it'll be a memory, and it'll be okay. And so let's all commit to doing our part to try to, as we gather, to keep people safe and healthy. We don't need to judge other people who have convictions that are different than ours, or who feel strongly that, yes, we need to do all of these things, or we shouldn't have to do all of these things. We don't need to argue about those things, and we don't need to judge other people or criticize other people for their views on how we do it. But we do ask, we as your church leadership, as staff and board, we ask you that as we gather, if you choose to come, that you choose to follow along with the guidelines that we've put in place for both the physical health and for the emotional health of other people as well. So we encourage you to follow through those. And I want to end just with a few words from Colossians chapter 3. You know, we've talked a little bit today, and last week a little more about the mask issue. And so we're asking you to come with your masks. Along with your masks, there's something else I'd like you to wear as well. From Colossians 3. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any one of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you are called to peace. And be thankful. Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. May that be what we do as we gather again this week. May we come clothed in those kinds of ways with even more than your mask, with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. May that be true of us as we gather together. I hope the rest of your week goes well. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you again here in our building on Sunday, and to sharing the services with you online as well. God bless the rest of your week.